We are. Woo!
So good.
Elyse, I'm so excited that you're here.
I feel fabulous being here. I'm so excited.
And I welcome all of you who are listening and perhaps even seeing us right now at whatever time it is. And this is one of the series of the Emerging Showgirl Awakening deck of cards interview series. And I'm really, really delighted to share with you Elyse Snipes, who is so many things. And among them, a podcaster of an amazing podcast called Trailer Cast, which we actually met
Yes.
for podcast. And if you I'll tell you how to find it in a minute, but if you remember magic number 97, because we had another conversation and we had a lot of ahas and body chills, which I'm looking forward to having again. Elyse is a woman on her own journey to reclaim her wild feminine, and she does that both through her therapy practice, which you can find at ElyseSnipes.com. If you can't see her name, it's ELYSESNIPES. And I feel a lot of fire and excitement when I talk to you. And I feel like we take a little onion peel off of the mystery. Yeah. Really, the capital G, capital M mystery. Yeah, body shiver again.
Yeah, totally.
And I want to look at with you for a minute. This is just a sneak peek. This is a sneak peek of the deck. This is a little reveal. And here it comes. Oops. Yes, I did it. Wah! This is a bird's eye view. This is a bird's eye view.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so good. I'm so thrilled already. I'm like, oh, I want to enter in.
And we're going to, and I'm just going to zoom in for a second. This is the back. This is the card that will be the back of all the cards. These teal fan. This suit is the movement cards, and the purple fan is the archetype cards. Oh, I'm feeling shy.
Okay. What do you want to do? What do you want to do with shy?
Oh, I want to do a little shimmy.
Okay.
What if shy is wonderful, and to let just dust away.
That's right.
Dust. So I'm just going to point us to the three pillars: the suit of reveling, the suit of revealing, and the suit of receiving, which underpin everything we'll talk about today, and everything that this deck is being created to awaken and stimulate and bring the sigh of integration that I just had.
Yes.
So I'm going now to stop the share. We're going to come back and we're going to end up talking about probably themes that run through many, but we're going to focus on 3 cards.
Perfect.
And the first one, because I was thinking about which ones would be really fun for us to look at. This card is one that elbowed its way back in.
when you were put, like, kind of like, there's so many, you couldn't include them all. So this is the one that was like, oh, it has to keep showing up.
Well, yeah, it was unincluded, not because it wasn't important, but I thought, oh, I can weave that in as a subtext of another one.
Right.
And then when it came time to give the final list to the artist, I kept seeing it everywhere. I said, okay. So then I had to go to reshuffle, and this is just what I have in hand.
Sure.
Little,
I got it.
Beta and it's permission.
Beautiful. Okay.
Makes me sweat a little. Permission. And
yeah, it does.
Tell me what comes to mind, please. Yeah.
Yeah, the duality of what we think permission is. When permission originally, when we're first introduced to permission, it's someone else giving us permission. It's, I need permission from my mom to go to my friend's house. I need permission from the school to go over here. And I think in my own evolution of permission is taking back my own power to say, I give me permission.
Well, you just bullseyed it. You just bullseyed it. How I used to, and actually, this is just a couple of days ago when I shared this card with Carla Camus from NLP Marin. Studying at NLP Marin has so shaped how what I understand about being human, that it's all through this deck, all through. And she said immediately, knowing me, something that was very similar to what you said, and it was so right here in front of me. I said, "Wait a minute, can you say it again?" I have to back up.
Yeah.
You're just listening. I put my hand right in front of my face and backed my face up.
Yeah.
She said she's known me over time and seen me do a shift with permission, that I did this variety that you described. I was looking, I was always asking, and this is a thing that many many women, we learn this,
we do.
to ask, can I ask a question? Can I take a bathroom break? Can I, real basic, basic. But it wasn't even just that. She said, also, I didn't have a gateway that required someone else to ask permission for, often very much larger than, can I ask a question, of can I, yeah, that direction. I think that's the one that it gave me a little doing. I had it in spades going out. So the gateway for me to the world was laden with really heavy duty permission layers.
Right.
But the other way, it was absent or incredibly fumbly. It was like, here's a gate, but it's made out of soft Jello.
Well, where it's like it's only like locked from one side, right? Like apparently people can always walk in my gate, but like I somehow have to decide like if I'm gonna come out and here's my passcode and I'm gonna sit with that.
I had to sit with it. I had to sit with it. And so this the shifting of permission is it's just it's the tilting. It's I always like to think of how does just the element of receptivity, or the archetypal femininity, which is the receiving, and the archetypal masculine, which is asserting. So and did you go there?
I felt like a Kegel. That's literally what I was thinking of. Is like, there's this.
Oh.
I know, we're talking about.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, ditto. I was like, when I really think about holding on to my own internal boundary, which is kind of like that internal permission, is I decide, I have power, I have strength, and that's within me. Yeah. I can locate when I'm in charge. I can, right, come into my strength and my power. And that pelvic floor, like that space where I'm like, that's mine, it belongs to me.
Yeah. I mean, it goes on the level from the most physical, with the muscles of our body, all the way out to how I approach any talking interaction. I'm definitely still learning and negotiating that one every day. Every day. So I need this card in my consciousness.
Yeah, totally.
Wear a little headband.
Yes, because I think about it, maybe even more now in since quarantine, shelter in place, it has been very illuminating who I also want to give my time to.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so I think that with that permission as well, do I give myself permission and honor that these people, it's very clear now who is soul feeding, who I'm like, I love spending time with that person, right?
Yes.
Who is, I'm like, that's not actually a relationship I might want to continue in that same way. It's illuminating.
This has happened to me, and it started just actually, that was one of the first things I was noticing. And I had, for whatever reason, I had my quarantines start earlier. Well, because I was sick for a few months at the end of the year, most of January and February. And so these themes they started early, and by the time actual shelter at home started, I was experiencing a shift in a lot of relationships.
Yes.
And where in the past I would have, oh, this brings us to the second card so beautifully. Do you know what it is?
I don't. I'm so
Oh
excited to
my
see.
gosh. It's, well, I should
Mm.
say, and maybe
Mhm.
we'll swing back around to how do these fit in the deck? I
Yeah.
feel we're on such a juicy roll.
Yeah.
It's the
Nora.
nourish card.
Mm.
Nourish card. So where what am I receiving nourishment from?
Yes.
First of all,
Yes.
what is nourishment?
Yeah.
And one aspect of nourishment is um, feeling attuned to by the people we spend our time with.
Yes.
Feeling that we are resonating, that we're in rapport with each other,
Yeah.
that we see each other, even if we don't
Mhm.
always agree. It's not about agreeing. It's not even about liking or agreeing. It's seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
liking or agreeing, it's seeing. That's
Mhm.
nourishing. When I see
Yes.
any other human, when I actually see them, um, it is the literal. It is awesome.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
am
I
in
hear
awe.
you.
So this this nourish piece,
Mm.
I would override. In the past, I would override. Am I nourished by this relationship? And if the relationship started to um, take a dive or shift, I would
Right.
reach automatically
Mhm.
to save it, to fix it, to see what I could do to twist around. And what happened in this year is I just didn't do it. Oh wait, who said this to me? Oh, I think it was Annie Axford, who is another wonderful person who's also, both Carla and Annie are going to be on this series too.
Woo!
Annie Axford of Sensitive Leadership. She said to me, try giving what you're getting. To give. I know. That was another one of those, like she bonked me
Yeah. Yeah.
with a pot on my head,
Yeah.
because my reaction was habitually, no, it must be that I need to reach out because I have the skills, because I have the heart, because I have the bandwidth. But all of this
Right.
happened by default, almost like that,
Yes.
similar to the gate of, oh, there's no
Exactly.
gate.
I'm with you.
There's these are
Mhm.
the same thing. And so
Mhm.
as my gate I'm actually seeing a beautiful gate with wrought iron and a curvy,
It's
maybe
beautiful. Yeah, the gate is beautiful.
ivy, and it might even have a voice because
Yeah.
art, we're making it up,
Yeah.
and it says hello, and who are you?
Mhm.
How lovely. And it might ask for a scan of, and what are
Yeah.
your intentions, and what is your
Yeah.
interest,
Yes.
and that the gate takes care of some
Yes.
filtering for me. Thank
Yes.
you, I love
Right?
my gate. and
Oh, it's so beautiful.
and it lets me know who has a much stronger chance of being, at this time, because
Mhm.
relationships change and we
Yes,
change
they
every
do.
day,
Yes.
who might feel nourishing.
Yeah, we're in the same wave like pattern, 'cause I'm sitting here thinking, the sickness at the beginning of the year
Yeah,
and the shelter in place, when our resources are taken away from us, we have less capacity or bandwidth to do what we usually do. And that is actually that's clarity. That's the clarity we've actually been looking for, but we don't always act on it because we just stay in the relationships. We keep the door open, right? We just do that for because we can. And right now we can't. We just can't. And so instead of that leading to fear, I'm hoping that this leads to freedom. It's like, oh, how clear my relationships are right now.
yeah,
And I give myself permission to honor what I know so that I can nourish myself with
yeah,
the relationships, right, that are true. That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's you said this, and I'm just going to repeat it. It's truth telling time.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, it's always truth telling time, but it's more so.
Yes.
It's more so.
Yes. Yes. It feels to me like it's what was foggy in the mirror is now stark and apparent, and the truth is just seeing what's there.
Yes. Yes. There's the song and dance of, oh, wait, I'm going to dress it up with a hat or, put a
Totally.
special filter on it, maybe
Mm-hmm.
some glitter. It's just not available.
It's not available.
Not
It's
available
not
now.
available.
Well, there it is.
Mm-hmm. It's a gift. It really is a gift.
It's because it's an acceleration of where
Yes.
ultimately we all want to go, no matter
Yes.
if it's scary. Of course it's scary. It's
Mm-hmm.
scary just to be us. I mean, I don't think that there's any other I'm a little myopically focused on becoming
Mm-hmm.
my authentic self, but I don't know that there is another more worthy from my vantage,
Yeah.
more worthy endeavor sounds too formal. um what's the word? Journey.
It is a journey. Yeah.
To journey.
Mine feels like a cannonball. Like that's how I usually think about it. My journey is here we go. We're jumping in all the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
me too. And oh, and that's the piece, the jumping cannonball, that I have noticed myself and a lot of other folks,
Go, go, go.
especially
You're on it.
especially female identified,
Mm.
have only shared in little truth telling pockets, in hiding. Honestly, it's actually
Yes.
in hiding. And I mean, just this here, this conversation, I mean, for me to put this conversation out, not because I have, and I think I've shared. I'm going to trust my body on this.
Good.
I think I've shared at about 10%, the level of 10% of what I have to what I know and what wants to be not shouted in the way that, like,
Mm-mm.
not an admonishing
Mm-mm.
punishing shout, but just it wants to be
Revealed.
clearly audible, and I have 90% more.
Yes.
90.
Kellita, I have like whole body experience in that, right?
Please tell
And
me.
this is kind of like yeah, I'm emotional about it. The idea of what this clarity presents us is that we get to be all the way here with people who can take in all of us all the way here. When we are in scarcity, which is what shelter in place and COVID is doing to our society,
Yeah.
it becomes very quickly clear who I can be all the way here with. And then because it feels like, you know what, I don't have time to be 10%. I don't even want to be 10%.
No.
I can't be 10% anymore. I can only be 100% myself. And if that is too much for somebody, then that's on them. But I
Yeah,
can't not.
I know.
I won't.
Oh,
Oh.
I want to take my highlighter.
Yeah. I've
Can't,
had one other go.
please. No, 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 no. Go.
I've had one other, like what you were saying, shifting earlier, and I almost felt like it was like sifting. Okay.
It is
There's
sifting.
a sifting. And I've had one other big shakeout in my life when I used to have all of my doors open and was engaged in a lot of relationships with a lot of people and was a resource for a lot of people, and it was beautiful and good. My brother died in a just terribly traumatic accident, that just an accident. No one, I mean, there's nothing that we could do. It was just what it was. It just happened.
Yeah.
And it caused this radical shakeout for me where I shut all the doors and was so shocked by this tragedy that it blew me away. It destabilized my entire internal structure. And what it gave me was choice to decide who I then would open those doors back up to. And I probably opened up 3% of the doors
Yeah.
to the people that I'm like, I only have this and I'm only reopening like this.
Yeah.
And that sift I felt happen again in quarantine where I'm like, oh, I've opened up a lot of doors that maybe I didn't really want to.
So this was this was what I feel from that is that it was your nature knew to do that, and you you listened. I mean, you just, yeah, And that, what would you say the percentage is now that
in quarantine?
Yeah.
Or yeah, I feel like I'm probably really back to okay, so personally, probably a really strong,
Yeah.
very strong intentional, probably 10%, which feels really whole. Like I feel, because here's what it is. I feel like I can be 100% in on my 10% of people, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. So
Mm-hmm.
just to clarify, these 10% that we're talking about recently are very different. We're talking about I don't want people to, wait a minute, is that like that other 10%? No.
Totally.
It's 10% of you're talking, just to clarify, about you had opened up to, say, we'll just make it simple, 100 people.
100 people.
Simple.
Mm-hmm.
And then with this shift of
I've probably chosen 10 people
yeah,
to be my whole self with.
Yeah.
All the time, without apology, without minimizing myself, without contorting myself. Just right.
Yeah. And this is training your whole body, just like you're at a gym, to take that out when, as we over time relax back into literally physically moving through the world more like we did before.
Yeah.
Your muscles will be able to tell you
That's right.
Where not where you can go and can maintain that.
Yes.
Go and maintain that.
This is just practice. And
Yeah.
it's giving me, okay, right, shelter in place gives me the boundary that I wasn't ready to set, but it's giving it form to me so I can practice, and then I can take that and then keep my own boundary and say, no.
Thank you. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. That's one of the beautiful parts. It's a required, I had never thought about so clearly exactly that aspect. It's a required boundary gym.
It is. It is. And what great practice if we're not struggling against it and saying someone's doing this to me. Like I think that there was this process for me in this, in going from government rule to self-rule.
Right? Say more about that.
That at first there was the order to stay in shelter in place, the order to wear the mask, the order, and I was like, you know what, I could do that and I could rebel against that, or I can self-rule and take in the rules that I say I'm choosing to shelter in place. I am choosing to do this. And when I do that, I'm not disempowered. I'm fully in power when I'm in self-rule.
Oh my gosh. I knew we'd hit the territory of another card. And I promised to save it for someone. Do we just hit it? We can hit it twice.
Well, everybody can. Yeah, this is because we all come at it uniquely. That's the magic.
And everyone should have their own. So we're just going to go ahead and bring it in. And it's this, of course, when I looked at the deck, it's at the top.
Oh, come on.
It's one of the frames. And it's submitting versus rebelling. It's similar to one that I think we talked about in the Trailer Cast podcast 97. Yes. Similar to collapsing versus posturing, but it's different enough that it gets its own card. Yeah.
Wow.
Submitting versus rebelling. I love that. You just downloaded it. Download. Without me saying anything, do you want to dive in, or shall I chime in first?
Chime in first. I'm going to keep listening.
Yeah. So as we grow, this happens so many times. I think if you look in child development, it happens in a big way around 2, I think, it's the first mini adolescence. I'm going to focus on the rebelling part, because the rebelling part is coming up. It's, I define myself by who and what I am pushing against.
Yes.
What I'm the reference of the other, and I'm pushing, and how that comes up in how that can come up in a burlesque solo is, and it's fine for this to happen, but if this is the place, it's not a place to stay. It's a place to go and push, and we have the computer's making cronky.
It is. It's with you.
I dance. Yeah. So if I make a burlesque solo from my place of rebelling, I'm saying, I'm busting out and I'm going to do what I want and I'm going to show my body, you can hear from the tone of my voice,
Mm,
and I'm going to play that song that we could never play in my family. This has a place in develop. I'm not saying never go there.
yeah.
If that becomes the place that you relate in your art creating, in your relating with other people, um, in relation to the government or your neighbors or whatever it is, that I am not going to do it your way. um that's one side of this, and then the submitting is the other. It's not even oh, how do I come back to the burlesque solo? Oh, what kind of movements do you do? Okay,
Mm,
can you make
mm,
a sequence for me and then I'll learn it. You
mm.
my voice, it's where it's both. Even though the rebelling seems like it's empowered, it's completely other focused.
Wow.
Completely other focused.
I mean, it's blowing my mind a little bit, right? Because it also, you can see where someone is trying to make the rebellion about them, and so it feels like it's almost like the rebellion might be the first step towards autonomy, right?
Yes,
I'm,
it's the
I'm at
first
least
step.
doing something,
Yes, yes,
but
it's a push.
mhm, it is. And then I'm like, wait, I don't. That's not the true. That's not the true reign, right? Rebellion isn't going to lead me towards autonomy or sovereignty. It's going to take me to um, continually making it all about you, someone else.
Yes, yes,
Which are powerful um, archetypes. They're powerful. It's a powerful concept.
it's a
The
beautiful concept. Yeah.
what there's a line, I don't know if this is someone who said this or if this is just a concept, but that like compliance is the number one form of resistance. Right?
Ooh,
So that when I just say yes to you, it's just because I'm wanting you to stop. I don't want to battle you anymore, right? So when I say, okay, I'll do that, it's not because I want to. It's just because I'm wanting to avoid you. So
yeah.
sometimes I think what submission, and I'm thinking about this in relationship dyads, I'm thinking about this in sex. When people just say yes, it might not be because they mean yes. It might just be because they're saying yes because they're done actually fighting
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
against
a
themselves.
defeat.
Yeah, it is.
It's the
Yeah,
yes of I surrender, not in the beautiful surrendering to
that's
life,
right.
but I surrender like I'm pooped.
That's right.
You got me. It's
Yeah,
based on it's based on a win-lose model
that's
also.
right. That's
Win-lose
right.
model. There's no
Right.
win-win there.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, makes my body sad.
Yeah. Right, because I think at that point it's like with that with with submission being a giving up sometimes, not always. That was just the context that immediately popped in my brain
Yeah.
was how do we have freedom in is what it where do we I could be in both those places in an unhealthy way and both those places in freedom. I know that. I can
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Do you mean the rebelling and the submitting? Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Both. You can be you. Thank you for saying that. That's a very. These are two layers. People,
Yes.
listen. We're talking. This is like if you're learning belly dance and you're going to do a flutter with your belly and a circle with your head, or two different things
Yeah.
going on. But
Yes.
so you can either be, oh, thank you. You've just opened me up to, I'm thinking, of course, within the context of the deck, you've just put together collapsing and posturing and submitting and rebelling. And this is where they
Ooh.
go. So you can be posturing in submitting, and I'm sure of it. Even though I
Mhm.
haven't thought of it, you can be posturing and submitting and rebelling, or you can be collapsing in submitting and collapsing in rebelling.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
any horrible combination. But I also want to talk about like the other possibility, but
Mhm.
just to kind of play it out, like, oh, tick tick tick. So if you're posturing and rebelling, that's kind of what I was showing first, like,
Yes.
you're all puffed out and
Mhm.
no, I'm not you, I'm so not you, I'm not paying any attention to you, I don't
Totally.
even know you. It's like, it's ridiculous, like, oh my god, okay. And then submitting, let me think about it. I think we think of submitting only in collapse, where it's at the body, but what would submitting in a posturing way? Oh, I found it in tone. It would be, okay, okay, I'll do it your way. I don't know. I'm trying to find that.
Yes, yeah.
It's actually, posturing has a kind of an arrogance in it, but you're giving up in an arrogant way.
Yeah. I think because I'm thinking all of this right now is in regards to like even like the shelter in place rule, right? It's like,
Yeah. Thank
so
you.
it's okay, fine. I'll do that. I'll put my mask on and I'll stand 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Right?
It's real tight. It's
It
real
is.
tight.
I'm
And
not very happy about it. I'm almost holding my breath. I'm holding my breath in it, kind of like,
gosh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
But I am submitting to that. Versus like the rebellion posture is the people that are trying to tear down the fences and still get access to the beach. It's the people that are out there saying,
Yes.
no, I'm
Yes.
not gonna wear my mask and I'm not gonna do this, even though I'm totally making this all about the governor making this rule. There's no self-rule. They've given up all power. I'm like,
We could go into detail in all the ways that these overlap. I'm hungry actually to move to, and what's another way?
yeah,
What's
let's
another
do
way?
that.
Starting from, if I'm not submitting and I'm not rebelling, I'm in the center of myself.
That's
I'm
right.
listening either for my still small voice or my rather loud voice that's hard to avoid, but I can if I want to.
That's
Be
right.
very
That's
quiet.
right.
And it might be pretty loud, but I do know how to drown it out. But I'm listening. I know, and it comes to me in so many different ways.
Yeah.
You're having an aha. Yes.
It
Yes.
felt like connected autonomy. Okay.
Connected autonomy. Yes.
Because autonomy feels like what's good for me, period. When I think about connected autonomy, I am still considering that my self-rule as it relates to others. And I'm going to have them both, that I can recognize my position in connection to other human beings and hold on to my self-rule.
I'm just bring it on. We've come to another card.
Let's do it. Let's work our way through. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. So I can't find it, so I'm just gonna say it. It's one of the frame cards. It's one of the cards when we looked briefly. You were very.
I was so drawn to the frame cards.
Yes.
It's funny, is I almost saw flame.
Yes, they have flame feel, and yep. And one that you're talking about is systemic versus singular. Systemic versus singular. We have a culture that we know this. We're just several hundred years old here, and babies, and the overarching the icon, it's just the lone wolf, it's the lone ranger. So many movies. If you go and look at list of movies, we don't go into Blockbuster anymore, but go and look at all the movies. Oh, so many have the sole person. They rose above all by themselves. They did what they wanted, and it's diminished how they did that because they had laid all kinds of groundwork of knowing other people and we are not islands. And this is what you were saying. We are not islands. And this is what's a little painful now is we're physically island-like right now. And that,
yes,
I'm going to pause on going deeply down that, but
yes,
we're not islands. And the more we recognize, but if we haven't taken the time, I wish it wasn't it feels like a boring word, but it's one of the biggest things. It's individuating.
That's right. That's right. Who cares if it's boring? It's what it is. Yeah.
We just individuate, and from that place, oh my gosh, we're coming to another card, but I want to give systemic versus singular.
Yes.
The singular side, the healthy side of addressing that side of that dyad or might feel like a paradox, is to go ahead and individuate and
yes, so that I can actually become a healthy we, the healthy system.
Yes, no we is possible until there is discernible me. Pardon me.
Yes.
No we is possible till there's a discernible me or I, and then I can do this. I feel like we're coming back to then the permission. I have my gates in order.
It's all of it. It's one thing. Everything is one thing, right? That's all. That's what it feels like. Yes. This also goes to me back into the sacred feminine, which is the feminine is all, it's expansive, it's inclusive, it is connection, and it is we. It is the royal we. It is all of us, right? Where masculine tends to be singular, I, strength, my solo journey, my rugged individualism. And we need both. I need both the ability to see the expansive we, and sometimes I also need to use the strength of my I to move me, right? And so I'm like, we do need them both, but there are different levels.
Yes. So even when people talk about, don't forget the levels, yes?
Yeah. Got it.
When people talk about the rise of the feminine or the rise of the sacred feminine, I say yes, and with just on an elemental level, if we were the pure element, the pure feminine element, we'd all be butter on the floor.
Correct.
We need the form and the structure. So it's the dance. It's the dance.
It is.
Having both, and the feminine has been maligned so much. Is needing so much dear resuscitation, and having extra. Yeah.
The layer aspect of this to me is I'm in a fused relationship, which is all of us at birth, right? I am in a we relationship that has not been individuated yet with my mom.
Yep.
I then begin my process of individuating or developing my own identity. And so I become I, and that I actually looks kind of like rebellion. And this is what happens when we become like the teenager or even the toddler in some ways. There's all these microaggressions of saying, no, I have choice. I have my own thoughts, power, whatnot. So we have all these little micro leaving of those relationships.
Yeah.
And I think what I think individuation is at my first pass is rebellion.
Yeah.
Until I realize that I can leave without rebelling. I can come in to myself without flipping off where I've come from, without aggression, with freedom. And so then I'm able to freely enter into a connected relationship with my mom, if we have connected mothers. Caveat.
If we have mothers available for connection. Yeah.
Or other safe mothers, safe people that are in that. And I think, so sometimes I think we think we're choosing the I, and the I is actually we. And sometimes I think we're choosing the we, and the we is actually I. Like they're just
we gotta unpack that a little, because yes.
What did that come up for you? Where did that hit for you?
Okay, it hit in a slightly inarticulate way, because I think
that's what it is.
You named a sea that I live in, or have been one of the main masks, not mask over the mouth. One of the main masks over my eyes has been, I may get a little foggy here because I'm not completely out of it. And when we even talk about that, so say it again, the I, we think we're in our I, but we're really in a we.
Yes.
And sometimes we think we're in a we, but I. Okay, I'm gonna try to pick it. So I'm gonna say, this makes me think of some partnerships, as in romantic partnerships, where, well, I was wanting to have a we.
Yeah.
But it was very much an I, and often the I was, I let my partner's I, if we have this conjoined space of, here's me, I'm this palm, and then there's other palm. Well, what happened was this, and so I became the scaffolding co-I. The scaffolding co-I. Oh, so painful. And it seemed to be that there couldn't, it was either or. So if I started to take up more space, it was so irritating. And he didn't want it to be irritating. I know that. He was just working his stuff out. And I was there, and we were working our stuff out. So
totally.
we couldn't do we. We just couldn't do we. Couldn't do
That's
we?
right. That's right. We can share our experience without maligning the other. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm,
yeah. Thank you.
mhm,
Oh, thank you.
mhm.
Thank
Yeah,
you. That's a good, yeah, yeah.
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 I can share about
Yeah.
my painful longing to connect to my mother
Yeah.
without making my mom the villain.
I believe that. And thank you for saying that. Because yeah, that is beautifully said. And I want to know that even more.
Mhm,
Even
mhm.
more.
Yeah,
Even more. Yeah.
yeah.
Can you think of a reverse example one of what did I paint? I painted the wanting a we, but it only being able to be an I at that time. So the opposite would be it's an I, but it's actually a we. I can feel that it's true. I'm just looking for an example.
Right. Motherhood again. I'm just maybe because I'm in
Yeah,
the thick of it, right? Where
for sure, for sure.
no, or even in my there's a group of women that I like. So I created like a wellness platform where we are very integrated in how we provide services. And I feel like at first it was an I have an idea, and I need all of us, we, to do it, to actually do the thing. And so that I don't know if that fits at all, but there's a sense of what I thought was I is actually we. It's I am not leading, we are together.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's an example, and that landed in a yes way.
No,
Yeah. So,
totally.
so they can essentially it's like look at all the quadrants of possibility.
Yeah.
Um, Either one of these can feel. Let me think, just for the fun of it. Can we think of one that is feeling good
Mm-hmm.
from the thing I was trying out? Not
Mm-hmm.
the exact
Mm-hmm.
circumstance, but
Mm-hmm.
when I'm looking for we, but getting I. I'd like to just for my own.
Yes. Yeah. Fun thought.
Well,
Yeah.
one that feels good, one that feels good, but so I'm a little nerding out on the construct.
It's so because I'm seeing like the four quadrants. I'm seeing what you're doing. I
Yeah,
like, yeah, I like it. Of like, here's what I mean, and here's the example of it. And it's fun because
yeah,
it gets more clear. And then it's like,
yeah,
oh, totally. I've been in that relationship before.
yeah.
I'll think about it.
And what I'm going to say here, because I'm going to sort of back out to
Cool.
the greater landscape of everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
Um, because I didn't begin with this, and I'm happy that we mulched all around. We've been all in the garden, kind of
Mm-hmm.
poking at, or even pulling out a weed, or smelling a flower, and
Yeah. Love it.
through the garden of this, all of these topics. And as a family, everything we've been talking about has to do with individuation
Mm-hmm.
and embodiment. Even though we weren't talking
Definitely.
about actual dance movements, it's like
Hugely.
going, what do I know? What does my body know?
Yeah.
Individuation and embodiment and authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the word that has to do more with um, relationships? That's systemic feels a little too sterile for the whole.
Collective.
Say it again.
I think collective.
Collective. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And a collective relationship somehow,
yeah.
where those two, like, how. But I am gonna say this. I am gonna
Yeah.
say that the bent of this deck, the bent is uh, on the self knowing the self, so that
Yeah.
the self can play with others in a
Yes.
wonderful way. And I
Yes.
mean play in the full sense,
Yes.
play and create and work and
Yes.
live and build things.
Yes. Yes.
So the bent of this deck is on the self becoming the true self. That's
That's
the
right.
emphasis. That's the emphasis.
That's beautiful.
Without
Yes, and it is.
without
And
it.
it is.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to wake up to. That's what the awakening is.
Yeah.
I can be I with you.
Um, oh yeah, and that makes me think of another card.
Well,
It's,
this is what's so neat. It's like you just can come through and be like, whoa, like what is this awakening in you? What is this awakening in you? Where are you in your layered experience of what this means to you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, shall I say this card?
Go for it. Why not?
Special versus not special. It's a little
Oh,
provocative.
yeah, go
It's
for
one
it.
of the frame cards, special versus not special. And so until until each person on their own has the sense that my exactly who I am, my exactly how I'm wired, my including all my quirks, and until that is seen, until we feel ourselves seen, um, our need for see me. We might not call it our special, but it's that I'm a little parched to have my own reflection come back to me, and that can be also just from me to me. But it's easier to understand when oh yeah, of another person. So when I'm hungry for that, and I'll use this in before I had enough of my own burlesque solo stage
Yes.
time,
Yep.
I was so hungry for it because that was my most
Oh, interesting.
forward way to get.
Totally.
Oh my gosh! And I couldn't imagine at that point. Teaching someone else. And now that I'm filled up enough with my own, I
Yes.
I know not that I don't have all the moods a human has and the imposter syndrome and self-doubt. I have all those things, but I don't live in the center of them.
That's right. That's
I
right.
I come back here and I so deeply know my own special. It's I know it so that I don't have to keep coming and getting it. I don't have to go don't have to go anywhere to refill it.
Mm-hmm.
From
Mm-hmm.
that place,
Mm-hmm.
I get to see, and for me, it's very direct. I literally, in my work, see other people into embodying and knowing and recognizing and experiencing their own radiant essence
Yes.
seen. And when I have enough, you just get to a place where there it is.
That's it.
And you don't go back.
You can't go back. There is no
Can't
back.
go back. And then
Yeah.
I see every other person
Yes.
when I'm in the center of myself. I
That's right.
see
That's
them
right.
from their special, and
That's right.
it's not a competing or a comparing. It's just, oh my god, this wow, you are so
What?
in your special, and I feel it as much as they're feeling it.
Yes. 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 Okay. So this is okay. This is. I'm in the middle of a writing project right now, and this is truly what I was like trying to like get to, which like this is what I really believe the therapeutic process is, and it's the parallel to what you're doing as well. Is
Yeah.
when someone comes in my office, I feel like I all where my gifting might be is I can look at someone and I see their brilliant self. I see their unaffected, unharmed, true self. I see their magnificence, their brilliance, just them. They're brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Yes.
And my what I want, my job, my role is just to hold that mirror up as loud,
Yes.
as clear as possible, and just to say, keep looking, because this is the truth.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they put things in it, but this happened to me, but this happened to me. And I'm like, yes, but that's not you. But this happened to me. And then
Yes.
I did this. Yeah, but that's not you. Right. And so we keep on coming back to say, until you see yourself as the brilliant human that I know you to be,
Yep.
then our work is there. We've done it. And now we celebrate, which is life. We celebrate our true self with each other.
Which is life, which is the
That's
whole
life.
expanse. It's not,
That's
oh, we're
right.
gonna have to fit it in 5 minutes or an hour.
No.
Ugh.
And that's when I've watched you do
Ugh.
your burlesque, I felt that you being your most true self in front of me made me want to join you in my true self. That
Yes.
that would be the only way, actually, because you had already become that in front of me. And in order for me to be with you, which was my desire as I'm watching you, would be to also become myself in front of you.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just such a beautiful joining experience. And I love the parallel because I feel like there's so much exposure, there's so much choice, there's so much magic, there's so much fun and cheekiness. Like in the process of what we do is we uncover and recover and discover ourselves
Yeah.
with each other. It's so beautiful, Clete. I just
Oh
love
my
what
gosh.
you do so much.
So what you just said there, I would like to have a monument, really big in every place where people gather, and then a few places where they don't. Chiseled, like the last last couple of minutes of what you were saying. That feels like a gorgeous place to wrap for us.
Yeah,
I want to re-listen and re-listen to
yeah,
that
yeah,
because
yeah. Take that sound bite. Take that as a
yeah,
sense, like, because that feels
yeah,
like the heart, the total beating heart.
yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Mm.
oh,
Thank you, Kellita,
goodness.
for I feel like you show me all the time how I can be like more myself, and I'm so thankful for you, truly. I'm so thankful for you. Make me feel like I can just really be me in this world.
If you're listening and not seeing, I'm clutching my chest. Oh, I open to receive that. I reflect it back, and may it be so. May it be so. May this conversation that we just had, I feel like it was all a prayer. The whole conversation was a prayer. May it ripple out and out and out and out and out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you so much, Elyse. Ah,
Yeah. Thank
Elyse,
you.
Elyse Snipes.com, who's cooking something that she's writing.
I am working it.
Podcast to follow, Trailer Cast.
Mm-hmm.
And may this not be the last time that we have a
Oh
conversation
yeah.
and
No.
share it with the world.
Totally.
So much love. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to say goodbye to our dear friends for the moment. Thank you all.
Thank you.